the rain out against the Mets last night, the Yankees have had 7 games postponed. And you never want to be playing that many doubleheaders or have to make up that many games because you wind up losing days off as the season is winding down.
And you also tend to split doubleheaders,
right?
Exactly, doubleheaders, no matter what.
And that's a problem. So the Yankees, obviously there's ground to make up, and we'll see what happens. I still say that the Yankees are going to make a trade for some pitcher, but here's the problem: the pitchers that are available, who everyone says, oh well, Yankees can trade for J.A. Happ or Yankees can trade for Cole Hamels, or these guys aren't. I mean, they're above average pitchers, but they're not difference makers. So the Yankees are going to have to decide, and Brian Cashman obviously is going to have to decide, are they going to make a real run at Jacob deGrom? And if the Mets fans, all the Mets fans say, well, they get all haughty and they puff out their chest because it's one of the few good things they have to talk about.
Right.
But they say, any trade of Jacob deGrom has to start with Gleyber Torres. No.
I've already said you do not trade Jacob deGrom.
Well, and if that's the case...
And when we had Bill Madden on a few weeks ago, he said the same thing.
But if that's the case, then why haven't the Mets said that? Why haven't the Mets announced publicly, look, Jacob deGrom is not being traded?
I agree.
If that's their stance, then that is something that they should announce and put it out there and say, all right, you know what, Jacob deGrom's not getting traded. I don't care what we're offered. And that's the thing, though. Every team has their price. If the Yankees all of a sudden said, all right, we'll give you Gleyber Torres, Clint Frazier, and Justice Sheffield. Yeah, the Yankees, the Mets are making that trade.
Most likely.
All right, not most likely, definitely. So from that standpoint, it's a matter of what the offer is. But the Mets should come out and have somebody say, Jacob deGrom is not being traded. And then if the Yankees do make that offer, then the Mets can come back and say, hey, you know what, look at this offer. This is crazy. We couldn't say no to this.
Well, I think, no one is untradeable.
Of course. The Toronto Raptors proved that with DeMar DeRozan last week.
Well, you're right.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, so, but as of right now, it's been such a bad season for the Mets. Trading Jacob deGrom, I think, would be very bad for Met fans, the feeling that people have towards the Mets. Now, one of the things, as if, I'm a Met fan, and, you're not, but you're a Yankee fan, but
yes.
But still, starting right now, if you want to find tickets online for Met games, you don't even have to go to the box office. You can get them for $5-10.
Yeah.
Easily.
StubHub, Craigslist,
whatever. And
easy.
Yeah,
easy to get cheap Met tickets.
Right. And
because you're going to watch a subpar product.
Right. But in the old days, you would just go to the stadium and say, okay, give me the upper deck or something.
Right.
But no one does that anymore because you just go online.
But that being said, there are fewer tickets available when Jacob deGrom is pitching.
That's true.
Because the fans want to go see him, and I don't blame him for that. He's been great. Last night, I posted on Facebook when it started raining.
Well, we missed that proclamation.
I said, I'm a Yankee fan, but I wouldn't mind this game being rained out tonight because I didn't want to face deGrom.
No.
If you can get a rain out against Jacob deGrom and his 1.68 ERA, I say thank you very much.
So amazing that he has that.
Thank you very much. Do I want to? Who are the Yankees going to face August 13th when that postponed game is made up? Could be Steven Matz again. It could be Jason Vargas. I'd say thank you. There's a win.
You're probably right.
So that if you can avoid Jacob deGrom, thank you.
Oh my God.
I don't know why the Yankees didn't bang that game earlier.
Tony Sparano died.
Yes, he did.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes. 56 years old.
I'm 55 in a couple of
They didn't say what they said. Obviously, they said it was sudden. I kind of assume it was a heart attack. I don't know if that's what they've said, but yeah.
They said they found him unconscious in the kitchen.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Terrible. So, what else? Anything else with the Yankees?
No.
Yankees go on the road. They face Tampa Bay tonight, which is good considering it's supposed to rain all week.
In Florida, but don't they?
No, here.
Oh, here. Okay.
Here. So it's good that they're going to Tampa. Bad that they're playing in that lousy ballpark again. But Luis Severino gets to start
Maybe
tonight.
the ball hit a speaker again.
Yeah, don't remind me about that game. Severino gets to start tonight. Masahiro Tanaka, who was supposed to start last night against the Mets, will start on Tuesday.
Okay.
CC Sabathia gets another couple of days of rest, so that's always a good thing.
Always
CC's
a good
old.
thing.
I
saw an interview just quickly. They had Andy Pettit on for it was a replay of Old Timers game again, and they were saying how much him and CeCe are buddies. and CC was saying how much Andy gave him like a pitch or two.
Yeah.
So
Andy Pettit helped out CC kind of rediscover himself or reinvent himself as a pitcher, because now obviously he can't throw 97 anymore. He's got to get by on guile and being a crafty left-hander, and Andy Pettit made that transition in his career.
As they used to say in professional wrestling, the crafty veteran.
Exactly.
That was a they talk about Baron Mikel Cicluna,
Right.
and it would be the Gorilla Montoon, the crafty veteran.
Yeah. But now CC Sabathia is a crafty left-hander.
Yep. Very. By the way, Sam Darnell is not signed yet.
Darnold, yes.
Darnold. Why do I keep saying Darnell?
I don't know.
Darnold.
Most of the Saquon Barkley, that's actually what I wanted to talk about next, was obviously the number 2 pick overall, but he's now the only one of the top 4 picks to have signed a contract. And I'll tell you what, Saquon got paid. Good for him. 4 years, $31.2 million guaranteed, which is phenomenal.
That's great.
He is already, without having taken a single NFL snap yet, he is the 4th highest paid running back in the league.
That says something.
Even better for Saquon Barkley, $15 million bonus.
That's great.
Here's a big check, Saquon. He's already bought his mom a house in Pennsylvania. He has said that he is going to follow the lead. Why anybody would want to follow a lead set by Rob Gronkowski, I have no idea, since he's a moron. But this might be the one smart thing that Gronk has done, is that he is saving/investing his NFL earnings, and he is living off of his endorsement money. So this is what Saquon Barkley is also going to do. So that $15 million check that he just got, write it to the bank, savings, investing.
I mean, no Shark Tank or anything?
And he's already got like 3 big endorsements: Pepsi, from some foot, I don't know, I forget which, Nike or whoever, and Panini something or other. But he's got more than enough money to live. He does. This kid is smart. He's going to make his money, and he's going to make sure he keeps his money. And he's not going to get into any kind of stupid stuff and buying 10 cars. In fact, like Yoenis Cespedes did. So good for Barkley that he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he knows what he's doing, and he's going to keep his cash. But $31.2 million over 4 years. Baker Mayfield hasn't signed yet. Sam Darnold hasn't signed yet. I don't even remember who went 4th, but the corner that the Browns took, he hasn't signed yet either. So the Giants got him in. They're starting. Rookies report to camp today. Rookies and selected veterans. So we're just getting started in NFL.
Well, you talk about his contract. It's funny. You would think that the NFL would say, "Hey guys, why don't we just pay you, over 20 years, and that way you guys don't have to worry about your money."
Who?
The player. They have some player. They have to go out and buy the.
I mean, the owners probably wouldn't mind that at all,
sure,
because it would save them money, and they could all invest it, and they could pay the players with the interest, and a lot of times, but players want their money. I don't know too many players who would want to spread out their money, because they all want it, and they think they know what they're doing with it. Too many of them lose it. That's the problem.
Very, it's I got the new flashy car. I got
too many guys. They wind up having 50 or 100 cousins who come out of the woodwork and say, "Oh man, come on, yeah, we were tight, and I got to start. I want to start up a whatever cell phone business, or I need $20,000 or whatever."
That's like the stereotype.
You wouldn't believe
the stereotype of like helping a rich player helping a family member or something.
You would
not
friend. Believe how people come out of the woodwork. Yeah. It's unbelievable, and there's pressure on those guys because a lot of them come from impoverished backgrounds, and they want to help everybody because these are all the people that help them get to where they are. So then they feel guilty about not helping some people. But you need to know where to draw the line,
right?
Because this is why Antoine Walker is a perfect example. A basketball player, played for the Celtics. Remember him?
Yeah.
He lost $90 million. Right. Allen Iverson, same thing. I mean, he made, who knows how much money he made in his career? Probably close to $100 million. Broke.
Yep.
How do you go through that much money? It's you would think it's impossible, but it's not. So
look what happened to Hammer, MC Hammer.
Oh, same thing.
He ended up making bad commercials.
Well, he squandered a lot of money on horses too.
That's true.
But good for Saquon Barkley.
Brother, I'll just let you know, Big Ed's coming up in 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
So what do you have to add before the show ends? Very quickly.
The Giants actually selected on Wednesday. There was the NFL supplemental draft, which almost gets no publicity because usually no players are taken. the Giants selected a cornerback named Sam Beal out of Western Michigan in the third round, which means that they forfeit their 2019 third-round pick. But Beal is supposed to be a strong cover corner who fills a need for the Giants because they really had a need at corner. So it should turn out to be a decent pick. The last supplemental draft, Beal was the highest drafted player in the supplemental draft. This is a bag full of words here. Highest drafted player since wide receiver Josh Gordon went in the second round in 2012. That was to the Browns.
Right.
The only other player taken in this year's supplemental draft was Virginia Tech cornerback Adonis Alexander, who was selected by the Washington Redskins in the sixth round. Giants fans obviously will remember quarterback Dave Brown.
I remember him. Who
was picked in the first round of the 1992 supplemental draft. Also, cornerback Tito Wooten was taken in the fourth round in 1994. Those are the only other two players taken by the Giants in the supplemental draft. So, we'll see what happens. But this kid, he's expected to have an impact this season, and we'll see what happens. But obviously the Giants had a need. They talked a lot about this kid, and the kid, apparently the reason he was in the supplemental draft was because he wasn't sure about his academic standing at
quickly,
Western
brother,
Michigan. Yes.
Even though I said we wouldn't talk about Eric Fischetti, award-winning sports writer, or award-winning sportscaster, I should say.
Yes.
Quickly, Tiger Woods briefly had the lead in the British Open.
I'm a little sick of Tiger.
But lost. I agree with you. You know what? Tiger hasn't done anything in 10 years.
Well, not quite 10 years.
Except maybe hit on waitresses or something.
Tiger's 42.
Yeah, he's 42.
And good for him that he had the lead. But he's not. If he wins one more major, that'll be it. He's 42. He's getting close to the senior tour.
I don't want to say he blew his chance, but something happened to him where he just had this run and then. He
got old. His back,
but he ran off the edge of the earth and didn't see it was coming.
Well, all I know is that to pretend that Tiger Woods is still in his mid-20s and a dominant player is fooling.
It is fooling.
TV is fooling themselves and fooling the public.
But there is a reason why, because I know myself.
Because he sells.
Well, he sells.
People will watch golf if Tiger is involved. They won't watch if he's not.
There are two people who. That I know about golf. I'm not a big golf player. Maybe Big Ed knows a little more about golf because he's a golf maven. But
he's a country club kind of guy.
He's a country club guy. Mickelson and Tiger Woods.
Right.
Those are the only two guys. And Mickelson, every time he plays, does something stupid along the way.
No, not really.
Not always. But, he
did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, well, anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But you're right. Tiger and Mickelson really, too. They're not promoting the new generation of golf players the way Tiger comes along. But Tiger came along so great.
But they should be. Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, guys like that. And who's the guy that wears the orange? I can't even remember his name. But those are the guys they should be promoting, not an aging 42-year-old who's trying to recapture his past glory.
Yeah.
So that's the part I don't get. How much time do we have left?
1 minute, Ed?
1 minute.
1 minute.
Cousin Kawhi.
Yes,
Kawhi Leonard was traded by the Spurs to the Toronto Raptors. That's what I was talking about with DeMar DeRozan before, because DeRozan goes back to the Spurs. Now, it had been just a few days since the Toronto GM had told DeMar DeRozan basically he wasn't being traded. But then a couple days later, the Spurs called and said, hey, we're trying to trade Kawhi Leonard. What can you give us? We want DeMar DeRozan. And the GM of the Raptors said, all right, we're going to make this work. And then DeMar DeRozan was going to San Antonio, and he's like, what happened? I thought I was a guy here.
You see?
So things change, and sometimes you have a plan, and it doesn't necessarily work out because you get a better offer. And I can't blame the Raptors for making that trade. But what is Kawhi Leonard now? Is he still a top 5 player, or did last year's injury take something away from him and missing all that time? We'll see.
We'll find out. Anyway, brother, we have to get going.
All right.
You've been listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. I am Rob Leonard. That is Tim Leonard next to me, my brother, award-winning sports writer, friend of Ed Newland's, which is very important because not many people. Matter of fact,
people are.
Ed doesn't have any friends. He hates mostly everyone. But you should listen to him on this great show he does called Good Gold. Anyway, brother, you're at Twitter at what?
At Real Tim Leonard.
Anyway, we will see you next Monday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I will see you Friday with Beatles songs, Take care and bye-bye.
The views expressed on air are not necessarily those of WHPC, its management, or Nassau Community College. Responsible opposing viewpoints will be considered by emailing them to whpc@ncc.edu or by mail at WHPC 1 Education Drive, Garden City, New York 1